Welcome, everyone, to Wolves After Dark. Timberwolves lose to the Grizzlies. Again, I don't remember the score. Something to something.
114 to 103.
Perfect. Thank you. But the end result is a loss. Even though the Timberwolves did look a little bit more lively tonight, some of the Timberwolves looked a little bit more lively tonight. Still come away with a loss. And that's what happens when you play good teams. I'm a little defeated in ways. I will say, I don't think I'm as defeated as everyone else on Wolves Twitter, at least. Everyone else on Wolves Twitter is pretty down. And I'm not saying I'm happy right now. Like, I have the last show we had together, which has been a while, I guess. But there was kind of these eking thoughts of like, oh, was the Gobert trade bad? Like, how is D'Lo doing? These bad things that I don't really want to talk about. But every loss that happens makes you have to talk about them just a little bit more. So I'm getting a little nervous. How about you?
Yeah, pretty nervous. We are 15% of the way through the season. 15%. That's if you miss 15% of your assignments in class, that's a B. So at best we can do is, you know what I mean? Like, we have so much room to make up right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually was pretty excited about this game. I think Ant, amongst others, were very amped to play this game. I think it was on ESPN, kind of like ticks up your brain waves a notch, like being like, oh, I'm this much more excited. Mm-hmm. And I think for the most part, the team came prepared. I think there were some really good things that I saw early. Unfortunately, we're going to use excuses like young team, inexperienced, haven't been there, doesn't have what it takes yet. We're growing, Ant's only 21, X, Y, and Z excuses that are not good enough anymore. And we're gonna hear it in post game. We got to find a way to win. We got to stick together. We got to remain positive. We're gonna hear all these excuses, but none of them are gonna matter.
And I think we're getting to the point where the real questions really do, because like you're right, that's what's going to happen in post game. They're going to say the same things they've been saying. But we're kind of getting to the point of like, okay, how long can you say that? Like, there has to be either action or there has to be some kind of, something different being said. I don't know. Because I understand that we're only 5-7, and like you may look at that record if you're maybe not paying attention like a ton to this team and be like, oh, that's not so bad, 5-7. The Warriors are 4-7 right now, but like, it's different worlds, like if you've watched us play, it's not good. It is not pretty. Tonight was like occasionally pretty, but other than tonight, we've rarely played good basketball. And we've got a big question marks in D'Lo. We've got big question marks, and not even question marks anymore. It's just Towns continues to make just terrible errors. The fourth foul that he had on Steven Adams, where he just like swipes at the ball, is just inexcusable from somebody that's been in the league for 7 or 8 years and is your main player that has foul problems. If it happens once every once in a while, whatever, but this is something that he just does. Rudy getting in foul trouble. Rudy's inability to hold on to the ball at times. Ant has been up and down all season. Today was a good game, obviously, but like, you need that more than just against Memphis, or like, you can't just have these one-off performances. And I guess the thing that I'm struggling with right now is I don't see how to get through to the point of winning with the current team. And I'm not necessarily saying trade something. That's not what I mean. I just I'm having a hard time visualizing the path to getting to being successful with this roster.
Yeah, this roster, I don't say looks bleak. I think just has a lot of holes. We had holes going into the offseason, and we addressed it in one way and maybe not the other that we should have probably looked at a little bit harder and a little bit. No one was running for Rudy Gobert. Let's say that much. Like, no one was like, I can't wait to trade for Rudy Gobert. We were the first one, right? So I think the first couple moves were kind of ancillary trades, and then maybe DeJounte Murray kind of started things, right? We'll get back to DeJounte Murray maybe in a bit, or maybe right now. But I think we could have addressed the point guard position. Like, it is funny to call back on maybe 4 or 5 years ago where D'Lo had looked pretty good next to Jarrett Allen, next to like a solid like system. I would say a system that allowed D'Lo to look good. A system that was like a culture forming system that was working for all the players that were all building up together. Eerily similar to what I'm seeing in Memphis. A culture of everyone playing for each other. The ball is moving. Ja has the ball in his hands most of the time, but like the ball is moving. Everyone's popping off. They have a really good looking team. Their bench does not disrupt their offense at all. It just helps. They have defenders. They have players that prefer to defend than take the ball and hog the ball and take 10 seconds to figure out what they want to do. This is not that team. This is not that Brooklyn team. And so, D'Lo could have, an occasional 20-point game here and there, but I'm not here for occasional. I'm here for building something, and I'm not here for like passivity and passive aggressiveness to like say, hey, we need to find it within each other and kind of call each other out. Apparently, there's a lot of positive vibes coming out of the locker room tonight, and I think that's really cool. I think hopefully that's like this loss doesn't sour them because there's a lot of like potential takeaways from this game. I don't want to like talk about the positives though because we lost and we can't lose these games. We're playing better teams now than us. Now we're playing Cleveland. Now we're going to play, we're going to be playing so many better teams than us currently. How do we dig out of this hole? We have to figure it out. The players have to figure it out. We don't have someone on the court to say, hey, Cat, get in line. And, get up and get in line. We don't have that player. D'Lo looks like a shell of himself tonight, and actually the entire season, actually since the play-in game, really. And I'm so impressed with what he did tonight, but like the others didn't. There was there was three really like standout players for me tonight, and the rest could have just sat there, and like I wouldn't have known that they were on the court. And well, it was a good 8 minutes. And then it was just, a double-digit lead that never really went closer than 5 or 6, right? Like, I don't know. I'm disappointed. I'm starting to become a little depressed about this team and the future outlook for sure. But I do think that it has the tools to be a better team than what it is right now. But I don't know if it's going to get done this season.
Yeah, and I think that's the frustrating thing is that you look at this roster that's been constructed and it's not a roster where you're like, you know what, we're going to give it a couple of years and it'll be good. This is a roster that's supposed to be good now. And maybe that's not game 1, maybe that's not game 2, maybe that's not game 5, but it's certainly by game 10. So, it's, and, Gerald brings up a good point here. D'Lo and Gobert were chirping at each other quite a bit tonight. D'Lo was always at fault. He was always at fault. D'Lo's go-to move is just to, I mean, it's good, argue it out, but like, you're wrong. You're wrong.
He's wrong in every instance of this. Yeah.
Yes. So he needs to just, I don't know if it's a learning thing. I mean, it's similar to Towns, where it's like you've been in the league for long enough that you should know these things and we shouldn't have to. I mean, like there's miscommunication, stuff like that. I get it, new teammate, but like these aren't just miscommunications. Like these are lack of basketball IQ. So, yeah. And a part of me, I haven't watched any of D'Lo's post game. I haven't watched anything that D'Lo said about Gobert since the trade, basically. But like, I wonder if D'Lo thinks that it's somewhat of like it looks like it's bad on him, but it's really the team gelling kind of thing, and he just feels like he's taking all the weight. But I mean, D'Lo's he's just making it such a mess. And I'm so glad Finch took him out tonight at that point.
Yeah, maybe too little, too late. Honestly, I think he should have been benched.
Too late.
He should have been benched in the second half. I think he's been saying a whole lot of nothing in post games and his just general interviews. I think that's his whole his stance. He wants to kind of be he wants to appear smarter than you, or he's aware more than you are, and he's just not answering any questions. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that makes him look stupid. I think that actually makes him not self-aware. And I also think that while he doesn't want to get like the dirt out like from what's within, no one's really paying attention to this team anymore. There is no scouting report for the Timberwolves. Like there isn't. They play so immaculately ridiculous that you can just play your game and get away with it. You can play whatever you'd like to play, whatever style you'd like to play, and the Timberwolves will fall on their like knees.
Yeah.
Wide open threes, wide open just the cuts are so the cuts were so ridiculous to see from Brandon Clark, for everyone else. Towns had an amazing 3 or 4 minutes, and then I would say maybe a dud of a game, and maybe we've seen this for a lot of the season, he's been playing well, but like he's our player. The counterpoint to Cat tonight was Santi Aldama, the guy who they said, let's have Kyle Anderson walk for, right?
Yeah.
And the guy had the same production as Cat. The exact same production. I don't think that's we can't give him a pass.
No.
We should be actually in the locker room barking at Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, we have built this roster for 8 years now, kind of with the idea that someone's going to take over this team, and it should be Cat at the helm, and it was supposed to be, apparently. And he's been exposed. Every type of opportunity to show off, he's been exposed. Unless there's a 3-point contest or some sort of skills competition. He's been exposed for the deficiencies, the parent, he cannot close gaps. He can't defend on the perimeter. He can't box out. He can't rebound without putting his hand in someone's face. And yes, people are going to aggressively, egregiously, flop on you because they know who you are, Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Cat can't guard with his body. He guards with his hands. He gets in foul trouble. And this is a team we need to really play up to our potential for, because this is the reason why we made the adjustments. We were getting hosed in the postseason last year, and our way to address it was to get rebounding. And how do we get rebounding if one of our bigs is out, right? We don't actually solve rebounding if one of our bigs is out.
Yeah. It makes me sick to my stomach to hear that Cat is being treated as the leader of this team.
Yeah.
I like Finch. I do like Finch, but at the same time, we're getting to a point of how I understand you can't come in and take it away from Towns right away. I get that. There's different dynamics there. You don't want to totally take him out of the team type of deal, but he just can't be the leader because he's not.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So the transition to then let Ant be the leader seems perfect.
Exactly.
However, we're seeing D'Lo play point, usage point, where he has the ball in his hands and he's giving it to Gobert and Cat. Ant is in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So how can Ant pop off the way that he wanted to tonight so badly when D'Lo's running the game, and D'Lo has an incredible box score. I can't wait to talk about it. And it just seems where is it going to turn if it's actually going to exchange hands, right? Cat seems like a perfect second fiddle, a perfect third fiddle. It seems like if he's on the perimeter and stays on the perimeter and takes a lot of threes, that's a recipe for success because it keeps the paint open, and Gobert just plays the Vando role. We were so good offensively last year, and we upgraded from Vando to Gobert. I don't see how this really should completely fuck up our offense, but it has. We have no offensive flow now because Vando doesn't need the ball, Gobert doesn't need the ball, yet we're trying to force so much other shit happening, and it bothers me. It really does. Well, I really hope that the coaches kind of see this game as this was a shit contest. We could have actually taken over this game because the Grizzlies weren't really crisp at all. They were just kind of getting to the line a lot, shooting and chucking a bunch, kind of getting into our heads more than really playing the game, and getting a lot of transition. Like we are bad at transition. We are careless with the ball. Like, but if we just tightened up a couple things, shot a little bit better from three, we would have had this game.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that's okay. I was just trying to click. I was like, why is it not working? Yeah. I mean, this is disappointing. And, Godfrey says bad defense is the number one problem, in your opinion. I think defense is our number one problem, but I'm not saying that we have bad defenders because, Ant is an incredible defender. Jaden's had incredible defense tonight. And obviously Gobert is his own defensive thing. But D'Lo is a huge defensive problem for us right now. And it doesn't matter if you have 4 elite defenders and you have 1 D'Lo because they're gonna find the weakness no matter what, and it's D'Lo. So and I'm not saying we have 4 elite defenders, but we have defenders on this team. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy. I hate that I want that I want Pat Bev back. Like I hate that is like my first instinct to be like, I'd rather have Pat Bev and not even have D'Lo at all. But that is my instinct. And then I also hate that my instinct is telling me everybody should judge me for this take. But I hate that my instinct is, well, why don't we just trade him for Russell Westbrook and just see what happens? Because Russell Westbrook seems to care. I don't know. It's crazy to say. And I'm not being 100% serious about that, but it's a thought. It is a thought that came into my mind. And I hate that is how I'm thinking about D'Lo this early in the season.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call, Mike, to fans actually, but also just to this front office. Like, you made this trade, you swung before everyone else even went to bat. You started swinging, and it's wrong. You failed. You made a mistake. You made a boo-boo, and you can't put a Band-Aid over this. You can't, because that's what we have. We put all our money into these all-stars, right? Or potential or past all-stars, not current, or future all-stars currently. And it's great to see Gobert out there doing what he does, but he looks slow. He looks aged. He looks like maybe potentially not equipped to deal with the new pace of the NBA. Okay, so we should offset that by chucking threes, by making decisions to lead to threes. In the first few minutes, I felt like we passed the ball a lot. I saw J-Mac get a couple nice looks. Even I don't care about D'Lo shooting, but D'Lo was shooting okay. And even Ant had some, he wasn't even the focal point, but he got engaged instantly. It was awesome, that lay in and that three-point play that was allowed for that we got a foul call for him. That was awesome. So he seemed engaged. And I don't know what we got to find time. We need to find all of day Saturday, as we are on a road trip now, to just sit together in a room and watch that 8 minutes before Cat went out. Because guess what happens after Cat goes out? He comes back in. He already had a foul, but that's okay. He comes back in and he gets a rebound. He actually gets 2 rebounds. He fouls and he gets subbed out. He comes back in, and not even a minute later, he picks up his 4th foul. He gets a rebound. He gets a floater. He gets a couple more rebounds. He misses a 3. He gets subbed out. The score is 89-80. All right. 4th quarter, he comes back in, misses a 3, gets his 5th foul, subbed out, subbed back in at 6 minutes left or so, 7 minutes left. An assist, a turnover, a rebound, a foul. Where are the points? Where are the 3-point attempts? Where's anything that you want to hear and read from a box score from your star player? It's nowhere to be found. Ant was all over the place. I thought he was great, all over the place in a positive way.
Yes.
And I'm not going to talk at all about anything negative about what he did, because anything that he was trying to do was just to push. He was trying to push pace. What I was really liking about other games, even though we were getting our ass kicked, was the idea that Jalen Noel was pushing pace. Jalen Noel looks like a D-League player, G League player right now. He does not look good, and we need to find another kind of spark from our bench. Looks like it's Bryn Forbes. But then Bryn Forbes was out there, but then not in the appropriate times. So I think there's a coaching shift too. we don't want to like fire the coach, but like find the right players, but like find them before the game starts, maybe. Like find out who's going to play for you and run with them and grind them, because right now we just need to win, and we need to win big. I don't want Torian Prince for 20 minutes. I want Torian Prince, if he's going to shoot and he's going to score and he's going to play well, I want him out there for the whole game. You know what I mean? Like I want the players who want to play out there the whole time. It was awesome to see Ant out there for 38 minutes. I guess that was my whole take.
Yeah. I'm trying to share a picture because it's something Stat News shared after the game, and I feel like it's necessary to go over this a little bit before. But I do want to get into the tier list here because I know we are getting a little further on into the show. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this up. So anyways, you can go to Stat News's Twitter, and it says Cat in his last 2 games, 7 baskets, 10 fouls, already in playoff form.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, that's right. That's also crazy. a big deficit in last year's playoff series was rebounding. We couldn't contain it, and I've already kind of said it like marginally in my like diatribe here, but it just feels like we couldn't get a rebound to save our lives. We were out rebounded by like 16 or 17. Offensive rebounds galore, 15 offensive rebounds for Memphis. It just seems like we aren't there. Jim Peterson apparently said that we were just like, he was just, harping on the guards being off the screen, like literally the TV screen. And like the rebound just goes right back to Ja for another 3 and he makes it. Like, great. It's great that you think that we can get fast break points. We're not a fast break team right now. We need to get the rebounds. We need to slow the pace down, and we need to get Ant involved as often as possible. Cool.
Yeah. Jacob, I don't know who you're a fan of, but you are confused because you said they chose D'Lo over LaMelo, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he's saying like we could have drafted LaMelo.
But we could have drafted LaMelo over Ant, not D'Lo.
No, yeah, he's like saying we said yes to D'Lo and
I see.
And the culture he will bring, and we don't need to bring in a LaMelo to disrupt that and cause friction and get rid of D'Lo. And he's not like wrong, but I'd rather have Ant than LaMelo.
I would too. Definitely. All right. Well, I haven't even chosen what players we were going to do tonight. But I guess Kyle Anderson is appropriate. Luka Garza is not, but he is up on the team now.
Well, who's not going to be talked about tonight is Jordan McLaughlin, Jalen Noel, who will be from the bench. Bryn Forbes, 18 minutes, 4 for 8 from field, 2 for 3 from 3, 10 points. A grade. As we do on this show, Wolves After Dark, we grade these players on a night-to-night basis, and maybe it's unfair, but it's like a grade based on what we think they're going to do or their baseline production. That's a C, So, cool. In 3, 2, 1, B. Yeah.
I could maybe be convinced into a C just because this is kind of what I was hoping for from him was like this kind of production all year. But he hasn't been given a lot of opportunity to do so. And the little amount that he has been given opportunity has been pretty bad. So I'm giving him a B just because this is way better than we've seen so far.
Yeah. It's funny. Can he handle the ball? Because I would love to figure that out. He is a wild card for me. I think he might be more of a Michael Beasley, or he might be more of a Beasley than he is a Noel, right? Mm-hmm. Where he can't really handle the ball. Yeah. It would be nice to know. 3 steals to boot, 3 assists to boot. I think he was one of the better players tonight, and that sucks. It sucks to say out loud, so I'm not going to say much more. Another bench player, Torian Prince, 19.5 minutes, 2 for 5 from the field, 1 3. 4 fouls, though, and I think an unfair, coached game, ref game for him.
I do too, yep.
Mm-hmm. A grade in 3, 2, 1.
C?
Yeah, probably even a D. Despite the fouls, we need him when we're down, when we need to find a way, right? We need to find him. He needs to come to show, he needs to come to get us all in line, because apparently he was supposed to take the reins from Pat Bev.
Yeah. And he is doing that in ways, and he's kind of a chippy player because obviously he's got some weird beef with Steven Adams for some reason. But he it was, I don't know which broadcast were you watching? Were you watching ESPN or Valley?
Yeah, ESPN, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I heard Doris Burke was going off on the Timberwolves tonight, but anyways, I was watching Valley and they had this perfect camera angle after both of them like flopped into each other at a point. And then they were just like, Taurean Prince was just staring at the back of his head, smirking. So he's taken over in ways. Also, Taurean was also talking to somebody, I don't know if it was on the Memphis bench or it was a fan, but they were talking to somebody even like during the play when he had the ball. It was really strange. And he's taking over that Pat Bev kind of role, but just in a different way. It's just not as effective. You need to be the crazy over the top like person to be Pat Bev, because Pat Bev is just, I mean, he's out there calling like Ja Morant small and things like that. So
yeah, I didn't mind the ESPN broadcast. It was very Memphis forward, I felt, and then just like talked about the Timberwolves, how they always talk about Timberwolves, young, inexperienced. Oh, look at that potential. That's pretty much what it was.
Okay.
There might have been some like, there's some rumors that there's some discomfort, but like they look encouraged together. So whatever. I don't know. I'm done talking about that. But yeah, Taurean Prince, I need more out of him, and I think I would rather see a D than a C. But he was kind of given a short stick. So
yeah.
All right, and then Kyle Anderson, 25 or 24 and a half minutes, 5 for 12 from the field. Whoa. 1 for 5 from 3, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, a block, 11 points total, and what was kind of deemed the energy player for the Timberwolves from Doris Burke.
It was weird. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. B.
C.
Wait, what did you say?
C.
I give him a B just because he felt like one of the only productive players out there. I mean, his 3-point shot takes way too much time in general. But that's
slower than Gorgie.
Yeah, him and Gorgie, the trebuchets or whatever you call it. But yeah, no, he was weirdly effective. That's just how he plays too. You know, I've said it a million times. Like, obviously, watching him play basketball is not necessarily like a fun experience, but it's effective and it works a lot of the time. Like, he had some really good power rebounds tonight. He had some good drives. He got called for traveling a few times. But I don't know. You know, in general, I thought he had some good energy and made some good, I mean, timely buckets is like a wrong word to use because we were down by 10 or more the entire night, basically. But there were some decent time buckets in there. So I don't know. I liked it tonight from him.
Cool. Yeah, I have nothing really to add other than I think 12 shots are. I wish those 12 shots went to like Ant. You know what I mean? Like obviously there are some reasons why Anderson's taking the shots and not others. I think so many of the others just didn't have it tonight. And I think there were some lineups out there that were very suspect. And I just question Finch's competency in those moments where, like, you know, D'Lo's the only starter out there or Gobert is the only starter out there. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense that Anderson's taking the shots, right? And also I think, like, I like the fact that Anderson's bringing up the ball. That's like his skill set. But at times I just, damn it, we suck this bad that we have Kyle Anderson as actually as the point guard, on the second unit. So it kind of sucks that's our predicament we're in. Okay, on to the starters.
Yep.
And before we get into the starters, I'm getting used to saying this. It'd be awesome if you guys could, like and share this video, leave a comment if you want. Who's your favorite Timberwolf? Or how about those City Edition jerseys?
Yeah, how about those City
jerseys? How much you love the red and green straight from the Timberwolves' mouth.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Apparently Portland has a jersey that is like the airport's carpet.
Yeah, I heard that too. I actually don't hate those jerseys.
I mean, those jerseys are fire, but it's just we don't have fire because we just
How is their airport's carpet better than our jersey?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I want to start with a little positivity right now.
No.
No positivity?
No, you can do positivity.
Anthony Edwards, 38 minutes, 10 for fucking 16 from the field. I just want to stop right there. 10 for 16. I also want to stop right at that 5 for 7 from the free throw line, 7 free throw attempts, 3 for 4 from 3. Can we just talk about that right now? 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 1 foul.
Wow.
28 points. I love this. I thought a grade for our boy, Anthony Edwards. In 3, 2, 1. A. Yeah. I loved it. I think in a season full of vitriol and turmoil and frustration, and I'm really frustrated and embarrassed to be a Timberwolves fan after that offseason juggernaut of a trade. Tonight, welcome back, Anthony Edwards.
Seriously.
Now we can build from this. I don't want anything other than this from Anthony Edwards. It was awesome. I don't care if you go 10 for 20 or 10 for 30 the next game. I loved your hustle. I loved your effort. I thought you were engaged the whole game. I don't think you took plays off. Maybe there was some here or there, but you picked your spots. And I also thought the game came naturally to you. I thought it was awesome.
I totally agree. I think this is like the perfect Ant game in a lot of ways. Like, I loved seeing this. Very timely shots, and he made a lot of shots, like you said 10 to 16, I think. And like, that's great. And like, some of these are difficult shots, and he hit some threes at some timely moments too. So it's like, I mean, these are just star player plays, you know. And not only that, like, they're star player offensively, but defensively, he's so special one-on-one defensively. And he can really stop almost anybody. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And the combination of him and Jaden kind of gives me that blip of hope, right? I hate thinking about the future. I want the current fucking Timberwolves to be as best as they can be. I'm sick of thinking about potential. I'm sick of thinking about draft picks. It's been so great to not care about like the Wembanyama sweepstakes, but like, we can't care because we just don't get to have him, you know, if we tank this season, right? So while Wembanyama would look awesome in a Timberwolves jersey. Okay. Anthony Edwards was quite a plus for us. D'Angelo Russell, 26.5 minutes, 2 for 8 from the field, not a 3 to be seen, not a free throw, not a rebound, 8 assists, 3 turnovers, but it could have been 12, 4 points. And I guess he got in the foul trouble, and then it didn't matter. 3 fouls in the first half. A grade for our, apparently he's still our boy, D'Lo. In 3, 2, 1. Glenn Taylor. Yes. Maybe not his worst, but it probably could have been his worst game in a Timberwolves jersey.
It's definitely one of them. Godfrey says, "Where's the ice?" Yeah, I mean, D'Lo has been terrible. And you know, it's one time JJ just came in for the grade. Yeah, I mean, but it's true though. And if any of you are new here, Glenn Taylor, basically, like we said earlier, C is what we expect out of a player. A1 is an unforgettable good game from a player. Wancho is a terrible game, and Glenn Taylor is permanently terrible. You know, it's just the thing that's most concerning to me, and I think I was saying this after the last game, but he's showing more pep on the floor now for sure. Like, he is, like, you can tell he's like thinking harder and like trying harder. But the problem is that the results are exactly the same, if not worse, which is super concerning because, you know, there can be some play, like, you know, I know people like to compare Ant to like Andrew Wiggins and stuff like that, which, like, I see some of the similarities, of course. But like, you know, Andrew Wiggins, he was disappointing because if he tried, he could be amazing. Like, if he was really engaged, he was like our star in some ways. You know, he was really going to be like, I mean, he still had issues with like dribbling and all that, but whatever. You know, like, he was able to get to the basket, make shots, and create. But a lot of times he just wasn't engaged. With D'Lo, it doesn't matter if he's engaged or not because you're going to get the same results. So, like, whether or not he's peppy about it or whether or not he's just like letting the game come to him, it doesn't matter. And I kind of think that he is a player that needs to be a little bit more like, let the game come to you. But you can't have games like this. You can't have games like this. The last one before that, the one before that, or the one before that. Literally any game this season, almost. It's just a really bad season for him, and this is a long stretch of games that he's been really bad. I just don't. He has to start making shots. That's the main thing. He could suck at everything else that he's been sucking at, even defense. But if he's making shots, we'll have a chance to make up for his defense. But he's not doing anything. He's not doing it either.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of players in the G League that would love a chance to play in the NBA. I think there's like you get yours and then you feel like you're owed instantly, right? Like you get your money and then you're owed more. You're owed more effort from your rest of your team. And I feel like D'Lo is a guy who finds his game in rhythm in games. And in this exact roster composition, he's not supposed to do that, but he's going to try. And so that he's at odds with himself. And I think he's a player who can learn from himself, his own doing and his own undoing, and be better. And I could believe it, but I am now sick of him, and I don't want to wait for him to get on board. I think the problem with him is that he can't drive. He's god awful in isolation. He doesn't even use the screens that Gobert and Cat attempts to use, and he doesn't know what to do with it. The paint is clogged, so he can't drive. He doesn't know how to finish. His floaters are ass. They're air balls. His threes look like they're just clanking off the rim or clanking off the side of the board. I don't know what he's doing great at anymore. I actually don't know what he's good at anymore. At any moment, he can pop off, right, for 20, and that's like his biggest asset, is that he's shit until he's not, and then you'll see him make shit again, right? He is sitting on the toilet for 23 hours a day. I really hope that we get value out of him before we trade him. I hope he brings something to the table and we get something for him. I guess his other biggest asset right now is that he's an expiring contract. Which any team, any front office that's listening to this show right now, I know that you're listening right now. After liking, subscribing, and after commenting on how about those Timberwolves jerseys, what are your offers? What can't you get rid? Can't wait to get rid of for D'Angelo? Because I don't know if there's any calls coming. And in what I feel is an amazing asset to get traded. And if you're a tanking team for the Wembanyama sweepstakes, this is like the best asset. It's a do-nothing point guard who's going to hurt your team and be $30 million off the books.
It's honestly too bad that Utah's doing so well. Because if Utah were sucking like they should be, Mike Conley might be available or Jordan Clarkson might be available, and you might have some options like that.
Yeah, why? Okay, this is I don't know. This is probably a nothing comment. But why was D'Lo not part of the trade? Like, why were we so why were we so masked or I don't know, gullible to the idea that Gobert and D'Lo could work together?
This is interesting. Why wasn't he? I'm not understanding now.
Like, they probably wanted to suck.
Yeah, they clearly tried to suck.
We could have gotten Mike Conley, make the matches work. Why did we get rid of Patrick Beverley?
Yeah. This is all. There must be. The one thing I actually thought was Tim Connelly maybe had an issue with Patrick Beverley or something.
God. And then why is Connelly still our GM? Like, if that's really what's happening, we're 15 games in. I don't even want to give you a full season. If this is the road, if this is our road, this is a road to ruin, or whatever that fucking really song is. Right? It's a long road to ruin. It's like, I don't want to watch these games anymore. The Timberwolves fans shouldn't show up to the games. If they do, they should boo. And we're not able to win games right now. And D'Lo is at the helm of it. If D'Lo is on the bench, he's not getting up and excited about his role. I'd rather see J-Mac not start, but J-Mac is like a kind of like a stop the bleeding kind of solution.
He is.
Like, we don't have Kyle Anderson and then we're the slowest team in the league.
It's just weird. I mean, we're all. I think you and I are both kind of the same page of I'm okay with Ant bringing up the ball and being somewhat of a primary ball handler. I know I use this example all the time, but kind of like Luka or something along those lines where they're taking the ball up frequently, and then just surrounding him with 3-point shooters that he can kick out to. Same with like one of them being Cat. So I don't know. I'm just really thinking about it. And, you know, I see Renzi in the comments here. I feel like Tim Connelly low-key ruined the potential roster.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah,
I think we all believed that D'Lo could come back to some sort of form of, the pick and roll.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that doesn't exist in the NBA anymore. That like bigs are just on the outs right there. So pick and pops are what it is. Keep the paint open and drive to the rim. And D'Lo can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
D'Lo can't drive to the rim.
No.
He is the slowest point guard in the league right now. He's probably worse than most teams' bench point guards. I would say probably he is the 61st best point guard in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, do a top 50. He's not even in top 60.
I was just about to say, like, what other team puts him as their starter?
Yeah, and I let's pretend we do the exercise. I don't have an answer to you. So now I'm looking at teams that might not make the playoffs or might Alonzo Ball is now my my ceiling for what we can get out of him. I don't know, and that's not going to happen. Alex Caruso, that's not happening. So
yeah, all right. Alonzo's too valuable.
Yeah, Alonzo's too valuable. I don't know. It sucks. It really does. Okay, I don't really want to continue this show. I'm real mad. Big sad as well. I think I was really excited, and now I'm really, really depressed. But someone to kind of get me out of that hole, Jaden McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we're going to quickly go back in that hole and probably even deeper. But Jaden McDaniels, 33.5 minutes, 4 for 8 from the field, guarded the fuck out of Ja Morant and Desmond Bane and the bigs because no one could guard anyone in this game. 5 for 6 from free throws. He got free throws. Fuck yeah, dude. What the hell? This is awesome. This is the Jaden I love, and I can't wait to see more of. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, or 3 blocks. Sorry, 2 blocks. 3 steals, 2 blocks. I don't know why I'm reading box scores. 6 fouls, though, but all of them sucked.
Yeah.
15 points. A grade for our boy J-Mac in 3, 2, 1.
A.
B+. A minus.
Yeah. Okay. He felt. You really felt Jaden out there tonight, and not only that, it shows up in some of the stats. A lot of the times he doesn't show up in the stats as much, but he kind of was everywhere. He was dominating Morant defensively, and he was getting to the bucket offensively, hitting some good shots. Obviously, I still wish he would shoot a little bit better, but no, he's looking good again. Or tonight he looked good again. But I mean, at the same time, I've been really down. The beginning of seasons with me and Jaden have not gone well together. I have been a pretty harsh critic of Jaden in the beginning of seasons, but now today he played. I don't know. He played really well.
Yeah. Finch says the margins for error are super slim. When they have 15 offensive rebounds and their second chance points are 32, it's a hell of a lot. It means they basically scored on every rebound they got, and it felt that way.
It did. How do we let, after the playoffs last year, when we know they're a second chance point team, how do we allow that to happen the first game we played them?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know. Well, Doris Burke is not a believer in our team as currently constructed. I'll say that much. And it feels that way too. But Jaden, a bright spot in tonight, I think. I don't really have a whole lot of commentary other than it was cool to see him mic'd up and he was loud.
Oh, was he mic'd up?
He was mic'd up and he was pretty loud. And that's cool because it seems like he doesn't say anything on the court. But, he was only really shown a few things, and all he was basically saying was Ant Black or Ant Back or something like that, right? So basically calling out the screens that were happening.
I have to see these clips.
Well, they're orgasmic for sure. Yeah. Washington products.
Yes.
I think there's more and more to come. It's pretty cool to see, even Paulo Ventro's had some stint in Washington, and Jaden McDaniels, Jalen Noel, DeJounte Murray. There's some good ones here. yeah, I even Jaden's brother is doing well. Jaden McDaniels in Charlotte is doing well. I'm very encouraged by what I'm seeing from Jaden. I think there's moments where he gets the ball and like he was like skittish on like what he wanted to do with the ball, and now he's just trying to score. He's trying to find his, and I like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
And I just feel like there might be another timeline for this team, and it might include Ant and Jaden and none of the rest.
I mean, that's just like what I think about now. Is I'm like, I want Ant and Jaden, and I'm like, now I'm getting to the point of like, do I want Gobert? But in the beginning of the season, I was kind of like, yeah, I want Ant, Jaden, Gobert, and then we'll kind of figure out the rest once Tim Connolly realizes Towns isn't it, and that D'Lo's not it. But yeah, no, I definitely want our A tier tonight to be our team going forward for sure.
Yeah. We had 80 possessions tonight. 30 of those, or 83-point attempts tonight. Or nope, 80 attempts at the rim tonight, and 30 of them were threes. That's pretty cool. Our 3-point gunner, right? Our slinger, champion. I told you, Finch. Karl Anthony Towns, 26 minutes, 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. No kickouts this time.
But he did wear a teddy bear to the game.
He did wear a teddy bear to the game. Man, he is something. 4 rebounds. Nope. 10 rebounds. 4 assists. But the big stinker after 13 points is 6 fouls. From the all-star, Karl Anthony Towns. I don't want to grade him because I think I might be lower than the tier list. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Juancho? Oh, look at us. Double Juancho. Yeah. You kind of said it really well earlier. He started the game for like the first 3 or 4 minutes, and I was kind of like, oh, I like this. and then immediately after that, he didn't foul a thing until the end of the first quarter. But either way, it was like he just had it going and then just let it go. And by let it go, I mean just started fouling, just started doing all the like stupid cat stuff, and it just snowballed from there. And when the fouls come for Cat, there's nothing he can't get out of that mode. He just can't. Like there's no way. Like the foul, and I know I talked about it earlier, but like the foul against Steven Adams, where he's under the basket, he just slaps at his hands with 3 fouls in the second quarter. There's no.
You're a dumbass.
There's no teaching it. He is permanently stupid. Like there's nothing else that he's going to do. And there's no way he's going to learn at this point. He's 8 years in. Like there's no learning. There's no learning this. It's how it's going to be forever. We have to adapt to it, but it's impossible to adapt to that level of stupidity. You can't. You just can't.
He has so many holes to his game, and teams know. And there's no scouting report on Cat anymore. Some teams like the Suns that had no CP3, no Cam Johnson, double teamed him, got him out of rhythm, and then he was never in rhythm.
Yeah.
Teams like Memphis that can put like a shanty on him. Mm-hmm. They don't need a double team Cat because Cat doesn't take advantage of any matchup. My least favorite thing is like the most subtle of things is that he takes an extra second before he does literally anything with the ball. He gets the ball and he doesn't make a decision.
Yes.
You see it. You see him thinking, and he's already lost. When he's thinking, he's lost. When he's not thinking, he's one of our best players. When he goes to the rim or when he takes a 3, easy. That's all we need from Cat. And it's just unfortunate that we are not in Block E telling him to do this.
Yeah.
Because apparently the coaches aren't. Apparently the coaches are just like, culture first. Let's establish some good vibes, and let's have some lasagna. Right?
If the coaches, let's say the coaches, okay, what if the coaches are telling him these things and he's just totally ignoring them, which I would believe. Then when does it become actionable to do something against that? You can't you can't have it just be like, oh well, I told him, and now he's just a superstar. Then whose fault is it? Glenn Taylor? I don't know. Like it's just, and maybe it is. Maybe it's a Glenn thing. Maybe it's an A-Rod and Mark Lowry thing. Maybe they are like, we need that.
Perfect. Where's A-Rod? All right, what are you like supposed to be doing here? Like, A-Rod, you got this like extreme experience, and you're like, hey, just like check out my fucking signed bat. I'll give you guys occasionally. Like, yeah, I got some money problems right now, so I'll be back when I have more money. Until then, win, go Wolves, huh? Like, where is the we've lost the Patrick Beverley, we've lost the identity, we've lost that aggressiveness. Cat is not a leader. Cat needs to be put in line. Cat needs to put into the lead, and Cat can give us leads. Can't lead, but he can give us leads with threes.
Mm-hmm.
Ant can be our leader, but he doesn't probably necessarily want to be that barking ass leader because that's maybe not in him, because that's exhausting, right? That needs to probably come from a defending player. And that's probably like our next player that we'll talk about, Gobert. But Gobert is quiet. Gobert can't really this is not his team yet, or could be ever. And this is Cat's team. So like, how can he really establish, a role here on this team by, I don't know. It's fucked up. And I think Cat is doing some good things out there, passing the ball, passing it to Gobert, getting some great looks for other players. But he's not setting screens. He's rebounding poorly. Despite him getting double-digit rebounds, he's rebounding poorly. He's getting into foul trouble, and he's not taking three-point attempts in the rhythm of the offense. He's just not in all doing it.
Yeah.
What my least favorite thing about him, other than taking time to think about, is that when he brings the ball up, or when he's like about to kind of drive, like he has this like gear in him, it's never worked out for him. In his 8,000 games in the NBA, it's never once worked out for him.
Never.
He still thinks it's going to, because he's got to show his whole fucking bag, and apparently he can't show his bag on the court, so he shows it in post-game interviews.
Yeah, I know. I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, but this is our this is our reality.
Mm-hmm.
We're sick of it. We don't want the change. I want to win with this team. I want to root for this team, because the outs on this are really scary.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to sell low and be bad and then not have a future. We have Minot, Wendell Moore, and Garza as our future potential, right? Because we can't get picks because there's nothing to get.
Yeah, I mean, you have to try to get as many. If you're going to go the trade route, you have to get as many picks as you can. But how many are you going to get for a player like Towns or D'Lo? You're not going to get any for D'Lo, but how many are you going to get for Towns? I don't even know. I have no gauge of what the rest of the league actually thinks about him, because there are still teams that out there religiously double team him. So I don't know if it's because I'm not saying he's a scrub, but he's also not the player that you want to build your franchise around. So you're not going to be trading a Gobert level package for Towns. And at this point, you can't even get a Gobert level package for Gobert, which maybe is the perfect segue into Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
35 minutes, 15 points, 6 rebounds. He made all his free throws. That's crazy, but also 4 fouls and foul trouble got early, and he was a shell of himself the second half of the game. Anyways, a grade for him in 3, 2, 1.
D.
C. Maybe D.
Okay.
Maybe D. Yeah, D. He didn't get double-digit rebounds. Fuck it. We lost our game at off the bounce, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's just you can't.
Yeah, D.
You can't have this bad of a game, and you have to be more of a presence. You were mentioning it earlier about how realistically this shouldn't be that jarring of a thing, because we had Vando, who was very he wasn't getting the ball a lot. So offensively it should be relatively normal. So why is this such a struggle with him suddenly? And why isn't Cat just able to go out to 3 and shoot threes instead of being in the paint with Gobert? It makes no sense. But at the same time, Gobert, when he is in the paint alone, he's not getting the rebounds. And that's not just a tonight thing. That's this season thing. Sure, he's getting rebound numbers because he's one of the only people in the paint a lot of the time. But it's it's different because when Vanda was here, they were high effort. They were the Brandon Clark rebounds, where it's like he is skying to get rebounds against people that he should not be getting rebounds against. He was diving on the ball for loose, or diving on the floor for loose balls, and it's like, there was these high effort plays, and Gobert, he's just getting boxed out by other players, and getting called for a lot of fouls too. That especially like these screens, which I kind of think is BS.
Yeah, it's BS.
Because I'm not saying that they aren't fouls, because they are, but the NBA and the refs call it so differently depending on what team you're on. I think this is like those perfect examples of like watches games in Utah and then watches games here, and the screens are not different, but the foul calls are. Like it's just crazy. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that we've been such a bad team for such a long time that the refs are just like, nah, like they don't get it, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I just don't know. And it's, I mean, Rudy's just been disappointing ever since we said, how could he ever be disappointing?
Yeah. Unfortunate that we did that too early. One game in, we were like, yeah.
We were like,
wow, we won
perfect.
it. Okay. Yeah, he does nothing for us when we're down. Like, he does nothing. Even if when we're down like 6, I don't know what he's doing.
Mm-mm.
He's not going to get us back. He's going to get us back in games. I feel like his defensive presence really shies players from like driving to the rim, right? Like, I love that. And I love that,
yes.
Like, he can box out well. But when he boxes out, he needs other support to help rebound. Rebounding is a team game. It's not just on one player. And, Brandon Clark gets his because he just does things his own way. But, like, that's not Gobert's way, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Looking ahead, Sunday, we play the Cavs. Wednesday, so that's a 2-day break. We play Magic. Saturday, that's a 2-day break. We play the Sixers. We're going to be well rested for all these games. I also don't feel good about any of it.
I just going to say that. I'm like, do we go 0-3 in these games?
Yeah.
So Cavs, for sure. The Cavs are good.
So instead of 4-9, we're 5-11. How do you feel?
That's pretty bad.
Let's just pretend it's already next Saturday. It's a week from now. Where we just lost to the Philadelphia 76ers, who's probably missing Harden. And, like, so that means, like, Matisse Thybulle is going to go for 70, right? Because we let anyone pop off against us. I don't see trades. I don't see changes. I don't see anything except for let's keep it happening. We're so close. We're on the precipice. Or do you see trades? Or do you see changes?
I don't see trades. And I, unfortunately, the only thing I can see, which I don't even want to say, is like it's just gonna take time. I don't know. Like we wanted it to take less time. We wanted it to be like at this point in the season we were starting to really, really click. It may not be for another month, at this rate, and that's not good enough for this year. I mean, I don't even know where we are in the standings. Not that we're way too early to be talking about standings, but
it's too early to look at the standings.
Yeah, because like, I mean, there haven't been enough games played, which, in some ways is like a good thing for us. But like, we're 13th in the West right now. Yeah. We're 13th in the West.
Wow. We might limp into the play-in game because, like the Lakers and the Rockets and OKC, they're kind of falling into form, and maybe like Sacramento isn't as good as maybe some people had hoped and thought, but like they're ahead of us right now, so, and maybe Portland's like a lock in the playoffs and Utah's like a lock, and which is really, really upsetting and embarrassing. Like, we're going to be on this 4-game home, road trip, and then we're coming home to Miami. Like, there's no give anymore. And even like the OKCs and, the only team we can beat, I guess, is the Rockets. Like, that's really sad. I don't feel good about any of these matchups. So, can we do anything? My answer is maybe we send a message. Don't play D'Lo. We are losing these games anyways. We just don't play D'Lo.
I think it's time to just confront these things head on and, get any ugliness that we have to get out of the way out now. Not let any of this like just slowly kind of get resolved over a long period of time. Like, confront the D'Lo issue right away. Start J-Mac. I don't know. Start Baby Mac, or start Noel. Start Austin Rivers. Do something like that. Or like, same things with Cat. Like, if Cat is doing some foul stuff, like if he has 3 fouls at the beginning of the next half,
I love this.
Just take him out for the second half. Like, no Cat, because he needs to learn. Like, he's clearly never going to learn it from the refs. D'Lo is clearly never going to learn it from anyone. Like it just needs to. Yes, Chief Tommy Guns.
Chief Tommy Guns. We have a Discord.
We
that
do
you're
have a
welcome
Discord,
in.
and you should be in it.
All right, that's all we'll say.
That's all we'll say about that. But yeah, it's like they need to learn, and the same thing goes for Ant. You know, I mean, I'm like a big Ant homer, and like even in the games that he hasn't been good this year, I still see the potential in him. Like it's just like he has it, and maybe he's getting defeated. He can't let himself get defeated, but like, he's. He has problems too. Like, and maybe if he starts like sitting in the corner with his hands on his hips, like he did the game the other day, like, okay, you take him out. Like that's just not what you do. And you have to do this with all the players, but mainly the big four. I hate saying that, but it's like the only way I can refer to them.
I know.
And it's like that's where we're at. You can't. There's no more waiting. We have to just confront these issues and just get it over with.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid. I want to find more shooting as well. I think the shooting is there in our team, but I just think that we need to do it, and we need to be about three-point shooting, because right now we are 20 possessions too few right now. We need to get 100 possessions in the game. You know what I mean? Like we need to get 100 shot-ups every game, because that's how we were kicking ass last season. That's how we were just like rolling over teams that we probably shouldn't have rolled over, because we were just maybe not the best defensive team, but man, were we fun to watch, and man, were we making threes. We were shooting the threes, and we were making them. I also think maybe like an Austin Rivers starts. We got these point guards. Let's fucking use them.
Yeah.
I remember the preseason was like, why are we signing these players?
Yeah.
Like, we have our point guards on lock. What happens to Jordan McLaughlin? Like we were talking about that. You're like, I guess he doesn't play.
Yeah, like what do we do? Yeah,
so suddenly he's a necessity to see if there's something else happening that we can get the others going. Because what Austin Rivers does is at least he'll move the ball. He's not going to shoot, and he plays defense. So the ball goes in the right people's hands. It's going to go into Cat. It's going to go into Ant's hands. I don't know. That's kind of all who I care about right now. Looking forward to get a win.
Same. Well, I think it's time to trade D'Lo and Cat to the Lakers for Pat Bev and like a pick. I'd be happy. I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, the whole like Pat Bev back to the Wolves, like Pat Bev back. But he's not gonna be. He's not gonna be back. You know, he's not gonna want to be back. Like that sucked. That's hurt. That probably hurt him. They got traded. You know. So.
Oh, it definitely did. I think it did hurt him. But yeah, I don't know. Well, future for us. I am moving tomorrow, so I will be in a moving truck for the next 4 days or so. So I will probably be gone on Sunday. Most likely be gone on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be no show on Sunday because I'm not going to be here either.
Okay. And then next Wednesday is the next game after that, which is the Magic game. And
I will not be there for that.
I may also not be there for that.
Yeah.
Wait, the 16th, I might be there for the 16th.
I would have changed my schedule for this team. But I am not out, but I have 2 feet out.
Yeah.
my body, my torso is still in.
You got like one ear still on the door.
Yeah.
And so I'm certainly getting to that point also of like, I'm not gonna like you and I have done this, and many of you guys in the chat too have done this. Like we plan our lives, our days around watching the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And I like cancel plans to go watch the Timberwolves, and I'll like get all excited and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm about to sit down and watch the Timberwolves, which is the stupidest decision ever, you know? And it's like, I can't believe that I've done this for so many years with literally the only glimmer of hope that we've ever had is a play-in game. And realistically, that wasn't even that great of a game. It was just a fun, emotional game. So I'm just kind of over the point of like making the Timberwolves my life until they show me something.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
Too.
I'm all in if they can start winning and looking good, but like this is tough.
Yeah. It's going to be also good for my mental health because I've stopped paying attention to the forums and Reddit and Twitter almost altogether about this team. And it's been great to not care until it matters. I feel so jealous of those who are bandwagoners, who are fair weather fans, who only show up when it matters. Because they don't care. They're not there in the trenches, but they're never there in the trenches. They don't have to deal with it. And they go on with their own business, just like whatever the fuck they do on a weeknight. So I am not taking a break in result of, but I am trying to occupy my days with things that matter to me also, and maybe more. So while we're both going to be now in the same city and doing shows together, we're going to figure things out. But like at least this week and maybe like half of next week will probably not be as frequent or at all.
Definitely. It could be a little shaky for the next couple of weeks. We're not gone, but we are busy. So in the meantime, feel free to check out. There's other Timberwolves YouTubers out there. Obviously, Timberwolves Daily, most of you are familiar with. Feel free to check them out. Sounds like they're sick. Get better. But there's lots of
this.
Good comments. Yeah.
I love those comments. Sorry, I make it a habit to get up and do something every time out and have television or on whatever close to task so I can do during commercial breaks. I sit my butt. I do what you're saying right here. I waste my time. Like I can't wait for halftime adjustments to be talked to me by Mike Inori. Like I can't wait to. I don't want to miss it.
I'm like on Twitter checking like highlights of things that just happened and like seeing everybody complain and so it's a great mental space to be in.
Well, go Wolves.
Right. Go Wolves.
Have a safe trip back to me. I'm so excited for that.
I know. I'm excited.
Because we're not like leaving this. We're still doing this.
Oh yeah, we're still doing this. We got to do a show together live in person sometime.
We're gonna double down when it matters most. But cool. I can't wait for you to get here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you everybody. If you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already as well. We will be back sometime. Pay attention to the Discord. That's where we post whenever we're live. Same with Twitter. And we will see you next time. I'm going to stop saying 62 wins now. I'm going to say maybe 52 wins. Maybe
42 wins still in play.
42 wins. But as tradition, through the terrible and the good, intro as the outro, we will see you
22 wins still
next time. 42 wins, the new emote. All right. See y'all.